What's up, guys? I'm Matt Axelson. This is the Real Estate with Axe podcast. This is episode 15. Are we taking over? You know we're taking over this podcast game. So first thing we're going to chat about today is home inventory, the housing supply, sharing that from a national perspective, looking at new listings week over week. Second thing, really just an overview of the market. We're going to be looking into home affordability, or really unaffordability, median sales price, mortgage rates, all of the above. Let's jump right into it. All right, so housing inventory. We're going to be speaking to the new listings that have been coming on week over week. And if you listen to the show regularly, you'll know that the last few weeks we've been discussing kind of the major swings that we've had week over week for new listings. So 3 weeks ago, we were at 60,000 new units. 2 weeks ago, we came down to 50,000, and we thought that was kind of the trend that we would see phasing into fall and winter of less listings, etc. And then this past week, we saw 63,000 new listings, so a major uptick. So we're going to speak to that positivity as it pertains to housing supply and just keep riding that trend. But one thing to note, and if you're listening to this, make sure you watch on YouTube because I've got charts associated with everything I'm speaking to. So we're going to show new listings just from 2012 through July of 2023. So if you're looking at this now, you'll see that there's this, it's a bar graph, and basically we are at the lowest points that we've had since 2012, and we're actually lower than those moments. And so we desperately need new home inventory. And so I know I'm a broken record, but I just want to make sure you guys understand it and can actually visually see what's going on. All right, so second topic of the day is kind of a deep dive into the housing market just in general here. So going over some of the 2023 August highlights, and this is from a national perspective. So we're going to look at some kind of month over month and year over year data here. So the median sales price of a home, $420,846. That's increased 3% year over year. And you may think to yourself, 3% gain, that's nothing to write home about. But what's really interesting is if you do a deeper dive into this, and I'll actually shift charts real quick over to Redfin, and they're showing a line graph here showcasing the median sales price around the country. And what you'll note, and if you remember on our previous episodes, I mentioned this, so you're either already a genius or you're about to become a genius with this data. So from June of 2022 through January of 2023, we had depreciation. We had a correction in the housing market nationwide, and depending on where you were, you either free fell over 10% or a few percent. And so what you're seeing here on this Redfin chart is basically what I'm describing, kind of right around midsummer of last year, just free falling all the way until maybe January or February of this year, and then hockey sticking right back up. And so for us to be positive 3% from August last year through August of this year, that means this year from February through now, we've appreciated greatly depending on your market. So that's an interesting thing to showcase. What else? Months of supply. What's typically considered kind of a balanced market is 6 months of housing supply. We're currently at 2. And so that's going to remain in a seller's market for many months to come, and I don't see that shifting anytime soon. Median days on market, 30 days. That's 4 days more from last year. And really that's just because, buyers haven't had to reach as far as they did back then. I mean, they were cutting escrows to 7 days, 10 days, waiving contingencies, shorting all of those as well. So all that stuff kind of makes sense. Also, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate as of today is 7.07. We're still above 7, so fingers crossed that we can kind of dip down into 6 here. Hopefully by the end of the year, we should hear something. As I'm recording this right now, it's 1 o'clock, Wednesday, September 20th. This will come out tomorrow on the 21st. I know Jerome Powell is scheduled to speak this afternoon, so hopefully everything he speaks to is theoretically bad news, so that way rates continue to come down. We'll see. What else we need to speak on? I mean, really, when we're speaking to rates, we're speaking to affordability or the lack of, right, with owning a home. And so right now, mortgage affordability in the US is an all-time low. And so again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see the charts, but if you're listening, make sure you check it out on YouTube because you're seeing all of this data as I'm speaking to it. So we have a chart here showcasing, it's from actually the National Association of Realtors, showcasing data from 1989 all the way through now in 2023. And something to note here, if you can't read it, is a value of 100 means that a family with a median income has exactly enough income to qualify for a mortgage on a median priced home. And so if you're looking at this chart, majority of the chart is all above 100, even dipping into 200 right around 2012, 2013. And now for the first time ever on this chart, we're down close to like 75. So we are very much at a lack of affordability and at our all-time low of affordability for someone to own a home, which is terrifying. It's really sad. Last thing I'll maybe speak to in all of this is that interest rates on new home purchases are being subsidized by the builders, which is spurring more demand on that side of things. Rather than existing home sales, new home sales, any of the episodes we talked about recently, they've really been skyrocketing. And that's because builders are utilizing the fact that they can buy down the rate for the buyer so that they can have a more affordable monthly payment. And so that's why we've seen that really take off. And honestly, the last two out of the last 3 escrows that we've had for our team, the buyer side has started to catch on, where let's say the home price was listed at 1.3, they offer at 1.325, and then they have the seller apply that extra $25,000 to the buy down of their rate. So the seller's really getting the number they want, but the buyer's getting the house they want and also getting it theoretically at a little bit of a cheaper monthly payment. So, but that's all I'm covering today. We're gonna keep this quick. We're trying to expedite these things. We're trying to keep you armed with information that you can take to your friends and family, your coworkers, etc., and just look like a genius. So if you're still listening right now, you know I do this every time, comment slappies, because that means you watched the video, you saw what I was wearing. I'm repping my favorite skate shop. It's right around the corner here downtown. But I hope you guys have a great day, great weekend, and if you need anything, you know where to find me. First thing in the show notes, you'll see a Calendly link. So if you want to discuss anything as it pertains to real estate, if you're interested in maybe selling a house, if you're interested in maybe buying a house, multiple options that you can choose from there. Pick a time in my calendar. Let's set up a call. Let's chat. I'd love to help you. And hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you later. Peace.